can you go in the Palisades? Where can you go in San Fernando Valley? They don't know. They're looking for help, and that's what we should be dedicated to.
I agree.
And you too.
We are doing it. We will continue to do it. I think you are right. However, it can also be seen that you don't want to talk about the politics because it's on your party, because the mayor and the governor are Democrats who arguably should have had the people in Pasadena better prepared for this. They should have the resources more available so they don't need me to put them up because the state has been doing the work. And that if they've been preparing the situations for wildfires like they were made aware of, instead of cutting deals with PG&E and insurance companies, they would have prepared the state. That is not unfair criticism.
So guys, as we continue our coverage of all of these failed Democrat politicians in LA and California, it turns out we just unlocked a new character who is none other than Maxine Waters. Now, for you youngins out there, for you people who maybe are a little bit new to politics, you probably don't know who Maxine Waters is, but to make a long story short, she is essentially the AOC before AOC, right? Early on in the first 2 years of Trump's presidency, she was by far one of the most insane Trump deranged characters in the entire party. And essentially what happened is Pelosi made her shut up because she was so crazy. So we've not heard a lot from Maxine Waters over the past several years, but it turns out she is back because she is a congresswoman from LA. She represents the area, and she recently went on Chris Cuomo's show to try to defend the Democrat leadership of her local area through this crisis. And spoiler alert, she absolutely failed. She absolutely got destroyed. Now, part of me almost feels like Maxine Waters should not even have to do this because she's the congresswoman, right? She has no direct power over this. But you know, the Democrats are clearly trying to do such desperate PR and damage control that now you're sending out Maxine Waters, who has no direct responsibility in this, to try to defend the crisis. And spoiler alert, she's insane. She doesn't do a great job. Chris Cuomo destroys her. We'll show you that here today. First, folks, do us a big favor. Make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe if you are new. You subscribing is the #1 way to ensure we can keep bringing you these videos. And with that said, let's get into it.
Instead of this business about Democrats or Republicans, get the information up on the screens. Where can you go in Pasadena? Where can you go in Pasadena? Where can you go in Malibu? Where can you go in the Palisades? Where can you go in San Fernando Valley? They don't know. They're looking for help, and that's what we should be dedicated to.
I agree.
And you too.
We are doing it. We will continue to do it. I think you are right. However, it can also be seen that you don't want to talk about the politics because it's on your party, because the mayor and the governor are Democrats who arguably should have had the people in Pasadena better prepared for this. They should have the resources more available so they don't need me to put them up because the state has been doing the work. And that if they've been preparing the situations for wildfires like they were made aware of, instead of cutting deals with PG&E and insurance companies, they would have prepared the state. That is not unfair criticism. Is it too soon? Maybe, but the questions are real.
Look, we've criticized Chris Cuomo on a lot, but for that one, you got to clap it up. Okay, round of applause, because he spoke the truth there. You have Maxine Waters. Apparently, instead of blaming the Democrat politicians in California, she's blaming the news media. She's saying it's the fault of the news media for not publicizing, oh, the people need help, the people need relief. Why aren't you publishing that? It's like, okay, isn't that also the job of the local leaders to communicate that with their people? But again, as Chris Cuomo points out, you don't want to blame the local leaders because of politics. By the way, while she is melting down over supposedly it's like the news media's fault, not California's, that people don't have relief, people don't have resources, News Nation is running the FEMA hotline phone number right here. So I don't even know what she's talking about, but look at her face. She's not happy. Let's listen to what she has to say in response.
Let me tell you something. I'm not in the business of protecting anybody. And I think that my work over the years that I've been involved have been absolutely on point in dealing what has to be dealt with in order to help the people. First thing you got to understand is services cost money. And we should be willing to get the richest people in this country, the richest 1%, that is protected, make sure they pay their fair taxes so that we can have the money to provide the services. With that,
that's why California can't provide services, guys, is because we're not taxing the 1% enough. Okay, little fact check for you, Maxine. California has among the highest tax burdens in the country, okay? Their state income tax, state, not federal, state income tax in the top bracket is something like 13%. Now, those of you guys in other states, okay, hearing that out loud, you probably are living in a state with no income tax, or maybe like 6% is the max. So keep that in mind, 13% income tax on top of very high property tax, gas taxes, taxes on literally everything, okay? Give me a freaking break. That we don't have the money to do this. You have a lot of wealthy people in your state. You tax them a ton of money. So don't give me that. There's a ton of money, ton of regulations. No. The reason why you're out of resources is because of failed Democrat leadership. You cannot have a state with one of the highest tax burdens in the country and still be complaining that we don't have the money to deal with this. That's insane. That's ridiculous. What a convenient and ridiculous diversion. What is she going to blame next? Is she going to blame climate change next? Well, let's see.
Money, and with those resources, the people who have been selected or elected to do the job should do the job. I don't care who it is. It could be Democrat, it could be Republican, it could be whatever. But the fact of the matter is, we all should have heavy hearts right now.
Okay, so she came just short of blaming the other thing that I hear Democrats blaming a lot, but yeah, there you have it, okay? Maxine Waters, just like total meltdown. Chris Cuomo calls out, again, the failed local leadership of the Democrat Party, and she just rambles about the 1%. This is a woman who is insane. She really should retire, but, ultimately, it is what it is. So they're going to, again, all right, this is the common theme we are seeing. They are going to shift the blame and redirect to blame everything except the Democrat leadership itself. It's the 1%'s fault. It's the fault of, the environmental ideology, where they're this is why we need the Green New Deal, right? But now take a listen, okay? This is Jen Psaki on MSNBC really expanding on Maxine Waters' brilliant political thoughts there by now blaming misinformation for this tragedy. Apparently, it's Donald Trump and Elon Musk's fault that the tragedy got as bad as it is. Take a listen to her.
And with these fires still burning, we are facing important questions about how to mitigate and prevent disasters like this in the future. Fact is, leaders will need to confront a very complicated and challenging reality moving forward. But right now, that is not exactly what is happening. Instead, Donald Trump and his allies are injecting half-truths, misinformation, and flat-out lies in some cases in order to score a version of political points, I suppose. We saw something similar play out just this past October in the aftermath of Hurricanes Helene and Milton, when Trump repeatedly lied about FEMA spending disaster relief funds on migrants, which didn't happen. Also baselessly claimed
FEMA money did go to migrants, by the way. Okay, just as a fact check.
That the Biden administration was absent and incompetent in delivering aid, despite what elected officials of both parties on the ground said. Those lies were then spread and amplified by the richest man in the world on the social media site that he owns. So I guess none of us should have been shocked this week when Elon Musk posted that the Los Angeles Fire Department prioritized DEI over saving lives and homes. That's an exact quote. That appeared to be a disgusting dig at the city's fire chief, Kristin Crowley, who has served in the department for decades, rising through the ranks to become the first female and LGBTQ fire chief in LA's history. Musk also amplified.
By the way, this is not misinformation. This is her opinion versus Elon's opinion, but notice how they labeled it misinformation. But yeah, there it is, guys. How dare you criticize DEI? This is all just a giant distraction again, by the way. Okay, how did she do as fire chief? Is the fire department doing a good job right now? Okay, maybe you don't want to blame entirely the fire department. I don't blame entirely the LA Fire Department. Is Karen Bass doing a good job? Is Gavin Newsom doing a good job? Apparently, they're all doing a great job. It's just, if Donald Trump would stop spreading his misinformation and Elon Musk would stop spreading the misinformation, everyone would know they're doing a fantastic job. That's why, by the way, California residents are so mad at Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. Surely that must be the reason, right? in a deep blue Democrat state that went to Kamala Harris by almost 20 points, surely right-wing misinformation is the only reason why the local politicians there are getting criticized by the local residents, right?
Governor, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to
everything
fill the hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not.
Ridiculous. But there you have it. Okay, as usual. Is anyone surprised? Not exactly. That is the brilliant Democrat takes that they are spreading in response to all of this. So yeah, with that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.